Alright, fellow Zero Ranger fans, time to go to the next episode of the day, which is The Sixth Hero. Within Pandora's palace, the witch is once again praying to Satan, speaking a ritual as skull glows right in front of her as she asks evil spirits to make a wish come true. The skull lights her crystal ball, showing her minions the means to make her wish come true. When Bookbite asks what it is, Pandora reveals it's stopped the Zyuranger anti-Zhuzhen, and that move will occur today, on June 19th, preluding the team's end. The boy, Ryota, runs until he reaches an apartment where his grandfather lives, but is nowhere to be found. Seeing the day is June 19th, the boy shows excitement. Elsewhere, at shipping depot where Gnome is working, he gets alarmed as Ryota researches on the mats of the apartment, where he finds a chest which contains a glowing green key. The release of the key makes a mysterious chamber where a sealed man lays silently in a tomb of ice. Ryota leaves the apartment and runs with the key in hand until Gnome drives up to him in a forklift, yelling that he took it and he should return, which the boy tells him no, pinned down until Gnome drives into a car running away. The Zyuranger climb on top of Gnome's forklift to stop him, wondering where they saw him until a boy reminds him that it's the fairy that helped them with Dora Circe. But when they see him attacking his grandson, they wonder why considering Gnome is on their side. However, Barca blocks him in track, telling the Zyuranger not to interfere with this before chasing Ryota himself, confusing him about the key before the boy leaps away with supernatural power. Gnome and Barca give chase as the boy leaps across buildings. Geki finds Nagoshi to do research about the key in their books, and Sia and May finally corner Ryota within a building hallway to comfort him. They wonder who he is and how he relates to Gnome, as Ryota introduces himself as Gnome's grandson and thus a fairy. Barca and Gnome meet up as the sage yells at Gnome for hiding the key in such an easy to discover place, and they should get it back no matter what. As Geki talks to Gnome, he finds out about the invincible warrior, as May wonders if they weren't the only ones put to sleep for millions of years. Ryota reveals his name as Burai, a man living with the fairies in the woods. He had no idea when or where he came from, but Burai was kind and strong enough to break a rock with one kick. He even saved his life when he was nearly killed by a rolling rock. But when he learned that the Zyuranger were put to sleep, he decided to join the Zyuranger in doing the same. As Geki wonders why, Ryota says it's because Burai saw himself as stronger than the Zyuranger. Ryota claims Burai is the only one who can defeat Pandora, and that Gnome casts a spell on him to give him the sleep to go into the future. When Geki asks where Burai is, Ryota states he's in a cave in the secret forest, and the green key is the only way to awaken him, but only on the day he was put to sleep, which was that day. But Ryota admits Gnome stated they can't open it, and well, he wished they could after waiting 170 million years while hiding among humanity. May asks why Gnome didn't want him to open it. Ryota merely states he didn't know, but it was terrible that he can't, and he lied. That's why he took the key. May states there's probably a reason if Barca doesn't want to open either, and Geki offers to take Ryota to the shrine to ask the sage personally. Ryota decides he doesn't want to, runs away as he thinks they'll just say no, and this is the only day it can happen. Pandora watches and cackles as she realizes the boy is headed to the cave and they'll soon have the biggest chance ever. Back in the cave, Goshi looks for his books and sees nothing on the key or the secret cave as Pandora appears before them in vision. Seeing Geki is headed to awaken the undefeatable warrior asleep in the cave in the secret forest. She just tells them to head over and meet the warrior, making Goshi wonder why Pandora is telling them. At Gnome's apartment, he reveals a massive artillery. Barca wonders if it's the only way, but Gnome states there's no attack magic. It's the only way to handle this. Since the two have decided to not reawaken Burai, they promise not to reveal why, thus they must keep their own promise, even at the cost of Gnome's own grandson. In the sleeping forest, Ryota, Geki, and May discover the cave with Burai, which Rhino Ranger claiming they haven't decided to reawaken him when Barca and Gnome appear, shooting at them and forcing them to duck. As they get off the motorcycle, Barca complains about his back as Gnome notes it was too heavy for his old body, with a true surprise as Sage states they can't reawaken Burai. When Geki asks why, the two become confused. Goshi, Dan, and Boy catch up as Gnome reveals they just can't wake him up and tell Ryota to give up the key as the boy yells no again and runs, forcing Ray to shoot at him, forcing Geki to stop him, and forcing Barca to throw bombs towards the fairy boy, forcing him to fall to the ground. Pandora cackles as the disarray on Earth as she informs Grifozar this is your chance to Toppat and Bookbite join him. The heroes and the elder mages continue to fight on Earth as Grifozar appears as a giant, stabbing the ground and causing Demogorgon causing a massive earthquake as Totopad summons some golems to attack the Zyuranger that they fight back against. Totopad and Bookbag yell at Ryota to open the door as Geki wonders why Bandora is joining this mayhem as the gnome knocks him to the ground, forcing them to transform. The team fight the minions as a giant griffin strikes at rocks to cause more chaos. Forces Zyuranger and some of the guardian beasts and turn to Daijujin and summon Godhorn, which uses Griffither who knocks him away with his kicks. As they do, Totopad and Bookbag hold down Barza and Gnome, telling Ryota to open the door, allowing the boy to reach the door with a dragon on it and places the key inside. When he does, a mist blows open and blows Ryota out of the cave as the mystery man rises from the tomb, opening his eyes and emerging from within. As Bri appears standing on the rocks, Ryota acknowledges his return as Gnome realizes the mistake being made and Barza worries while Griffither, Totopad, and Bookbag escape. Bri then introduces himself as the Yamano Tribe Prince, shocking Geki. Ryota is further shocked as knocked away by the green-clad warrior as grabs his own title buckler and transforms, introducing himself as the Dragon Ranger, further shocking the team as having a new Zyuranger. Before Dan can get too happy, Bri sneaks into Daijujin and tells the team to go to hell, punching at them and throwing them out of the mecha. On the ground, Dragon Ranger fights the entire team, crushing them with ease with his skills and fighting them off even as Ryota yells at him to stop. Geki wonders why he's fighting them as Bri stabs him with his dino stick and takes on Tyranno Ranger personally, defeating him with ease before firing a blast that throws the team down. Scared for him, Gnome calls for Ryota, making the boy cry to his grandfather, apologize for opening the door. Sverry says it will be alright. However, Barza claims it wasn't his fault. This was destiny that was going to occur. Geki wonders what's going on as Bri flies away from the team and stares down them manically before running away. Oh boy. So let's take a look at an error from this episode. When Bri pushes Ryota, his hand does not make physical contact with him. And now let's take a look at a note from this episode. Expected calendar at Ryota's house, it shows that it was June 19th, 1992, coinciding on this episode's air date. Interesting. So overall, I think it's a pretty good episode, and yep, definitely the beginning of what's going to be a long stretch of episodes featuring Burai, so yeah. So overall, I give the Sixth Hero 5 Megazords out of 5. Well, anyway, tune in as we took the final episode of the day, The Hayfield Brothers' Sword. So, until then, in the words of Zordon, may the power protect you.